Welcome back to another episode of Thumbs Up Charter Services Behind the Scenes. I'm Captain Karl Burnside from Thumbs Up Charter Services. It's the middle of January. It's cold. We actually got a nice day where we can work out in the barn for once without spending a fortune to heat it. So, we're going kind of slow here on some of this stuff. We've really got to get going. We got to get this boat finished for at least by May, the latest June, if we're going to have all of our certifications and things. So today we're going to be working on our Transom Bar, and the Transom Bar is used to mount all our downriggers on. Seeing how we'll be running this boat, the Ambrose, out in Lake Huron out of Harbor Beach. So for those of you that don't know, downriggers are used for deeper depths and trolling precise depths under a boat. I generally use downriggers anything. I'll start playing with them at 25 feet or so. I've even played with them at 20, but usually 25 feet or deeper. And for our steelhead and coho and lake trout on the main lake, that would be usually under 25-30 feet. So we're making a bar here to mount all of our downriggers on. They're going to have swivel bases so we can articulate the downriggers back and forth. We'll show you that. And the reason why we want a bar is we'll show you the back of the boat. We're using electric Big John downriggers, Captain's packs. They have motor features, electric motors on them. We have a couple of downriggers, just two, mounted on a little lady because we run that out to Saginaw Bay. And like I say, we only use those like if we got in the shipping channel or something, and then they can be productive. But it's seldom that we use them. But being manual, they don't have this electric motor, and it kind of interferes with the back of the transom cap. So we're going to show you all that and why we're mounting them and where we're going to mount it, and then we will show you how to make a transom bar yourself if you're interested in this, relatively cheap. In fact, we'll give you the name of the company where we got the stanchions from to mount this thing, and also the company where we found the best deal on the 6011 rectangular bar stock aluminum that's going to be our bar. And to give you an idea, with COVID and everything, it's been really hard, first of all, to find these. I did happen to find one that was in stock, and it was over $900 for what we're about to do here, for about $240. So, it's a good cost savings. We're even going to paint it, make it look nice, and hope you enjoy it, because here we go. So I've quickly set up this transom bar on the work table here. And it's just for representation purposes, but this is what it's going to look like on the back of the boat. You have two stanchions here on either side on a 72-inch piece of aluminum rectangular extruded aluminum 6011 that is 0.625 inches thick. It's good and thick so it won't flex that much. And then down here is an example. You can see one of the Big John downrigger mounts we have that rotates. This will rotate 360 degrees by pulling this pin. So we're going to have, the idea is to have probably a downrigger here, downrigger out here somewhere, skip the outdrive so we don't tangle our piano wire in the center of the boat, have another downrigger here and one down here. In the center, if we wanted to, we could put some fixed rod holders here, get more storage space on the boat, or we can use those also to run some transom lines out the back as well if we decided to. So I'll probably put some in the middle there when I'm done with it. I don't think I actually do have a couple extra. Okay, that we could use here. Thought process is going on. Gears are turning. But we use those for storage, and or if they're adjustable, we could tilt them a little bit and use them to run a line out the back of the boat in what's called the wash area. So that is the basic idea. What we're going to have to do is go up on the boat and show you the transom and why we're trying to use this up there. We're up in the boat right now, and we're viewing out the back of the boat over the transom. And what you can see here is we had a transom cap from when we redid the, we took this off to redo the transom back when we were repairing it. But it's got this 4-inch lip here. A standard non-electric downrigger will mount to this transom and will have enough clearance to work. However, there's a motor that comes off the back of these, and the base is a little bit wider for the electrics. So what we're trying to do is raise that downrigger above this area here. Let's get that out of the way. This area here, so nothing hits when I rotate them. So that is why we're going to put a transom bar back here. Now the other question you might be asking at this point is, well, why a transom bar now? Why not later? You haven't even got the engine in the boat. Well, that's a precise reason. We don't want to be clambering over an engine in this thing to put this transom bar in, because from the underside we're going to have to put reinforcement plates, and we're also going to put some reinforcements vertically down to the floor and the structure of the boat to make sure that this is a good solid platform for which to have four downriggers running on the back of the boat. It's amazing the things that we ask our transoms to do. You know, it's already going to be holding onto an outboard over here. It's got to hold up the engine and the outdrive, and now I'm adding this to it. So there's incredible forces on the back of the boat. You're going to want to reinforce the underside of your transom, especially if it's thin like this aluminum, and you're going to want to secure it to the main structure of the boat to give it more rigidity with what you're asking it to do. So to get started with this project, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this whole thing that I've set up here up onto the gunnel of the boat, position our stanchions where we want them, then carefully mark with an indelible marker where the four retaining bolt holes have to be in the transom on each stanchion, and make some marks and notes about where those stanchions are in relation to that bar, so we can bring it all back down here to the table, appropriately space out our downrigger mounts where we want them on the bar, mark that, and then start drilling holes. So it's a lot of marking, measuring, and drilling. It's been about a half hour now, and we have carefully placed our transom bar up on the transom of the boat, of the Ambrose, placed our stanchions and measured where we want them, and then marked each of the four holes on each of these stanchions into the transom where they need to be drilled, and then up underneath on the four mounting holes to the bar where they need to be drilled. So we'll now take this unit back to the table, and also we've also marked where we want our downrigger pads to be, or our mounts to be, on the top of the bar. So we'll take this whole thing back to the work table and start drilling some holes and assembling it. A word of caution about where you're going to mount your stanchions. Make sure, and I didn't mention in the video before, that the underside of the transom where this mounts is free and clear, where you can put in a reinforcement plate and some hardware. It's very important to note that, so you can get underneath it and do the work you've got to do. So don't drill your holes before you make sure that's exactly where you want those stanchions. We've used a punch and a small 5-pound hammer here to carefully put a punch mark at each one of our drill points so that it prevents the drill from walking around on the aluminum. This is 6061 aluminum extruded. I said 6011. That was just a misstatement. It is 6061, 0.625 inches thick, and we will get to drilling here shortly. We're going to use a 9/32 drill to drill these holes. Our bolts are 1/4 of an inch, so the 9/32 drill will give us leeway for the threads. We don't want to mar these stainless steel fasteners we'll be putting in here, the threads, because then they'll lock. And if you'd seen on a previous video we talked about putting the radar arch together, that's a really bad thing with stainless. It's not very forgiving. You'll end up snapping the fastener if you get boogers on the thread. Aluminum likes to tear, so when you get down to the other side, which I'm at right now, you might have to find yourself reversing the drill a couple times to get through cleanly. Use light pressure so you don't break your bit. Clearly through on one bolt hole. We only have 11 more to go, at least for these. A couple things to remember. It is aluminum, it is heat treated. Slow and steady speed, don't cock the drill, that type of thing. And just take your time. You'll get it. Never hurts to check your work as you go. As you get a couple holes drilled, make sure that everything is still lining up and where you need it to be. I'd hate to see you drill 4 holes and be off and have to do a whole bunch of things to try to correct it. The other thing is, always wear your safety glasses. Always, always. Got mine on. It is aluminum. It's not magnetic. You don't want it. Trust me from experience, even with safety glasses, you don't want anything in your eyes. Another point that might be really well taken too is if you have access to a drill press to put this in a fixture and drill it, it'd be a lot easier than using a 1/4-inch drill. And another thing is, if you've stuck with a 1/4-inch drill like I am, make sure that it's an electric drill. Trying to use a battery drill for this, you're going to run through a lot of battery time. Well, we're coming along here with our transom bar. We've got the stanchions bolted in, and we've got 3 of the 4 adjustable or rotatable downrigger mounts bolted onto our bar. Pretty quick, fast project. Wasn't too bad. Just been on it for an hour or so, hour and a half, and took dinner and came out to finish it. We got one more here to mount of these adjustable, rotatable downrigger mounts, and then what we're going to do is stop this episode because we're going to tape all those downrigger mounts, clean this thing up, paint it, and then on part 2 we will show you the install on the boat itself. Well, I think that's going to about do it today for this episode of Thumbs Up Charter Services Behind the Scenes. Thanks for joining us yet again. We will get this transom bar painted when the weather allows here, hopefully in the next few days. And episode 2, we will install it on the boat. Beyond that, we have the gimbal housing to rebuild that I think we mentioned in a previous video. We're going to be getting to that soon. We got to get that installed on the boat. And we got all kinds of numerous things to do inside still. Big project will be putting the ceiling back in the hardtop here. So our wiring and air horns and accessories are in, and we don't need that out anymore. And then we'll hopefully get on the carpet and some finishing work here by the beginning or mid to February, and we really need to get there because once the weather breaks in March, we've got to test fire an engine that we've built for this thing, tune it on a pallet. That'll be an interesting episode, and then get it in the boat because fishing season will be here before we know it. And speaking of fishing season, if you'd like to go for a charter with us, give us a call at 810-513-6073. We are accepting reservations for the 2022 season. Season starts on May 1st. You visit us at thumbsupcharter.com on the web, or Google us at Thumbs Up Charter Services in Seawing or Harbor Beach, Michigan. We'll see you again soon. Take care.